RCI, Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom. Informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI. Food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. It is Thursday, the 17th of July, 2025, and it is program number 1411 of the Lunchroom. I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Now, of course, in addition to radio on 101.1 FM, you can also get us at our website. It is rcistlucia.com, and we are also streaming live on our Facebook page. Please just search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International and like and share that as well with your friends and family. And if you want to call in a bit to tell us what's on your plate today, the number to do so is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. And our WhatsApp number, it is 724-0008. Again, 724-0008. If you want to call in or message in, you can do just that. Now, we want to send out some birthday greetings for today to Miss Barbara Cadet. Happy birthday to you. And we're hoping that you're having a splendid and special birthday celebration. We also want to send birthday greetings to Mr. Sean Hinkson, who's celebrating. Oh, boy, Sean, you're getting older. I'm not going to say your age, but you're getting up there. And we do hope that you are having a great day. And also to Miss Kezia Nicholas, happy birthday to you, and wishing you a splendid, special day. Now, look back in time on this day in the year 180 AD. 6 residents of the city of Carthage in North Africa, in today's Tunisia. It was found that the 6 residents were executed for being Christian, and that's the earliest recorded instance of Christianity in that region of North Africa. In 1203, the siege of Constantinople began during the Fourth Crusade as Roman Catholic crusaders aboard a Venetian fleet attacked the city. In the year 1762, Empress Catherine II became Tsarina of Russia after the death of and rumored assassination of Tsar Peter III. And more Russian history. In the year 1980, the Romanov royal family and several of their retainers are executed by a Bolshevik firing squad in the basement of the Ipatiev house in the city of Yekaterinburg in Russia. And 1936 on this day, Spanish generals Francisco Franco and Emilio Mola led a right-wing uprising starting the Spanish Civil War. 1945 on this day, July the 17th, leaders Harry Truman of the United States, Joseph Stalin of the USSR, and Winston Churchill of the United Kingdom hold their first post-World War II meeting. And that happened in Potsdam in Germany. And in the year 2014 on this day, Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine by a Buk surface-to-air missile launched from pro-Russian separatist-controlled territory, killing all 283 passengers and 15 crew on board. We now head across to our dish of the day. The daily dish is brought to the kind compliments of our good friends at Tiles Plus.
One tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Because if unbeatable cause customer service, A plus did all kind of tasks come down to tax plus. We are so glad that's why and vanity. Box, dos, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody, we got the best as an island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Jugozile, and Clark Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
And welcome back to the Lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International. And of course, we have been observing over the week the rumblings and fallout from the unfortunate performance of the West Indies against Australia. An absolute whitewash, which could not have gotten any worse in the third test. With by just day 3, the West Indies being bowled out in their second innings for 27 runs. Some remarkable bowling statistics coming to the likes of Stark. He got, I think, 6 for 9, and as well Australian Boland. Picking up a hat-trick there, and it is not the kind of scorecard that any team would ever want to see, and the second lowest test score ever. You have to go way back to 1955, where New Zealand, I believe, scored that against England, and definitely a very sad day for West Indies cricket. Of course, since then, we've heard the statements coming out from the chairperson, the chair of the WICB, indicating that he was calling together an emergency meeting of a committee that has been put in place, as well as some others, the likes of Sir Viv Richards, Sir Clive Lloyd, as well as Brian Lara. And in fact, we have also heard the sentiments of Mr. Lara on the matter and some other programs, sharing his concerns, of course, about how the industry, if you want to call it that, of cricket has shifted towards the league format, the shorter form of the game, and the major cricket market, that of India, certainly dominating the pull for many cricketers in the West Indies. Once they have made their name under a maroon shirt, they're heading across to India. Of course, to get some of the feedback and to get a sense of the sentiments and how he feels about them personally, being put out there, I think we have online with us Dr. Reds Pereira. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I had to sort out a bit of a technical problem this morning because we had no television for 2 days. So it meant an early fall to flow, and it sorted out. So that was basically my morning, and I checked my lotto tickets. Didn't have a lot of luck. So I bought again. If you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. So it's been that kind of morning. Very rainy in Bon Terre. Very rainy in Bon Terre. It's a misty kind of rain. It's very misty. It's not man rain, which tends to be short and heavy. This is a rain that tends to linger on. But I might get myself in trouble.
And I take it you've somewhat recovered. We left you for a little while, gave you a space to lick the wounds, as many West Indian fans have been doing over the past couple of days. Your take on the outcome of this test series against Australia, right here in the West Indies. Could it get any worse than where we're at right now?
Well, I think it was on the cards. I think we need to clear that up early. It wasn't the cards, Junior, that we probably would have been beaten by Australia. It was in the cards. I mean, they're in the top two in the world. It goes up and down. They just got beaten by South Africa in the Test Championships. But I mean, we were 8 and 9, and the betting was definitely Australia would have won the series. In a sense, if you look at the first two Test matches, the West Indies competed well for the first 2 days. The West Indies competed well for the first 2 days. They bowled well. They had Australia asking Australian quite a few questions. A couple of people had partnerships. But I think, as we saw in Barbados, after a very good start, the third day, the West Indies just folded. The consistency, the grit and determination, and one was very, very early in this discussion said our fast bowlers did a magnificent job. Our fast bowlers made a magnificent job. We were playing against a team that had a really very good fast attack, and we matched them. But where we couldn't match them, and this is my worry about the future, is in the batting. Although Coach Darren Sammy had probably assembled almost the best collection, he's been able to attract some of the white ball players to the red ball game. We just didn't seem to be ready and able to cope with the great consistency, the discipline, the relentlessness of the Australian attack. So the first two Test matches, definitely we competed, but only for the first 2 days. The last Test was really difficult to understand what took place. I mean,
Australia went into bat first, and I think is that what happened? From what I recall, and they came up with about 225, and West Indies was not able to make more than 143, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, we didn't help ourselves during the series, and this is another contentious point about the fielding expert in the backroom staff. We dropped 13 catches. You know, that was just awful. 13 catches. I mean, you know, Sharma Joseph and company saw catches come and catches go, and had those catches been taken, especially in the first Test, the result probably would have been a lot closer, a lot closer. But the mental side, when we were bowled out for 27, just didn't seem to be right. We just seemed to be in a haze. People, you know, not getting out of the crease, batting deep in the crease, and these Australians, I mean, they bowl at your pads all the time, and so it was a bad ending. I mean, it's not good for the psyche of West Indians, not good for the psyche of the players to be bowled out for 27.
What is your take on the player selection? I mean, there's been a bit of criticism regarding that, there could have been perhaps a better Test side put together to face Australia. We've heard some criticisms about from some quarters that players like Atanaz perhaps should have been in the mix. Silva, I think, out of Trinidad. I mean, do you buy into that? There are some other players out there who perhaps should have been brought forward against what you saw as the Test team that was put together.
When I saw the 16, I thought that Hodge was unlucky. I mean, here's a man that didn't do too badly in Australia, got a test 100 in England against the English attack. I thought that maybe he should have been in the 16. He puts a heavy price on his wicket. He's a fighter. He's also can bowl some useful left-arm spin. He's not bad in the field. I thought that was an omission. I was surprised by the vice-captaincy because they tied their hands, so to speak, by making Warrican, who had to compete like everybody else to try and make the side. But once you make a man a vice-captain, you virtually got to play him. I thought the vice-captain should have gone to maybe a younger man, Imlach, for example. You went for Chase, who has been in the trenches. He's been in the battles. He knows how to lose. He knows how. You've seen victory. You've seen loss. He's seen 5 test hundreds. He's seen defeat. He hadn't played for 2 years. But on the selection, there's some feeling that Jason Holder is too good a player not to have been in the squad. He seemed now to be pigeonholed as a T20 player, but they are looking towards maybe Graves as the all-rounder, and maybe in the future, maybe Matthew Ford as the all-rounder. So I think in terms of the red ball game, I don't believe he's in the plans. He's in the plans. He's not in the plans of the red ball, which to me, when you play Australia, you need everybody on board. You need everybody on board. The other question was, why do you need 4 openers in 16? You know, you can understand 3 openers. You had to make a decision on 3 instead of 4. You are carrying maybe an overload of opening batsmen, and I think that was another one of the discussion points. So the 16 could have been better, but you know, you can be very wise after an event.
I mean, of course, there's been a lot of talk regarding the matter of the flight of West Indian players, and of course, most infamously or famously, that of Nicholas Pooran, who has seemingly retired from representational cricket within the West Indies, heading to concentrate on IPL. Is this something that we're just going to have to face as a reality of right now? I mean, the fact that cricket over in India, in the subcontinent, is a $1 billion industry. It's where it's at for these players if they want to be able to ascend in terms of their own personal wealth. I mean, how are we really, do you think, going to be able to keep players playing, or West Indians playing for West Indies cricket?
Very difficult indeed. Very difficult indeed. Because the white ball market is very attractive. Other countries who have more industry, a greater number of players, are getting a bigger cut of the financial cake than the West Indies and Zimbabwe and Afghanistan and Bangladesh is getting.
Right.
You know, they probably can get a greater number of players, making themselves available for the national team, turning down white ball contracts simply because they can pay them better to stay at home. There's the industry that obviously can play a part, because most of these players are contracted to a beer brewery or whatever advertising brand. We just don't have that financial strength in the Caribbean, and we are getting very little from the ICC. But you somehow or the other, it's easier said than done. We need to have a buy-in. It was hoped that that this buy-in, making yourself a little more available to the West Indies test team, might be coming around, but you're not too sure. You're not too sure because you can argue on both sides of the coin. A young man might say, "Look, my financial future, if I play in two major white ball series and do well, my financial future is looked after." So we are really caught in a vortex, so to speak, between a rock and a hard place, and we are not. We don't have a lot of players. I mean, we are probably the smallest cricket nation in the world, and there was a time when that didn't bother us because our first-class standard was so high, and our players were, in fact, getting a lot of experience in the English counties. I think only Logie and maybe Dujon didn't play in English counties. So it's what the ICC will do in the future in releasing some funds to the smaller minnows, as they're called, so that they can keep their players at home. But the ICC is also guilty of allowing too many white ball tournaments. Too many white ball tournaments. I mean, some of them are very, very lowly rated. I mean, it's all about television.
But I mean, can you really control that, though? I mean, if each region in the world wants to have, or each country wants to have their own white ball leagues, I mean, is it possible that? I mean, and not even just that, we're also seeing it popping up in Middle East as well, in a lot of other countries that we wouldn't typically think of as cricketing markets, but as a result of their own entertainment desires and large Indian diasporas, they're finding themselves in the market too.
Yes, it's a good point you're making. It's really a situation facing world cricket, which we never expected before. Is not happening in other sports. I mean, you had a recent effort by Johnson to add another series of track meets, $100,000 for winning the 100, and that doesn't seem to have worked there. I think he has to rethink it. But cricket is really affected by the amount of, and I do think that the ICC should have, asked the franchise to show quality. Let me know the standard of your players before we give you the okay, because so some of the white ball, is fellows at 45, 46, 47. It's as you refer to, is where the wealth is, where the Asian community is. But it is what it is, and
Are you? I mean, we no doubt. I know a lot of people love the Test cricket form of the game. It's still greatly popular in some regions. But are you also thinking that, maybe in the next decade or so, we may be seeing some changes to Test cricket in and of itself? I mean, I know there was the days when a Test match was even, 7 days? You used to have a break in between,
No, he had a rest day.
He had a rest day, and it could have gone on, So is it possible that we may even see changes to the structure of Test cricket as well, packaging it differently, maybe?
I think it's got to come. It's got to come because the advantage of the shorter format is all about entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to some CPL matches here, and you ask some people who won, and they have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, who top scored? They have no idea.
Right.
Because there's more of a party interest than the cricket, the music, the party time, and it is sold that way. But back to your question, I personally feel that Test cricket should be limited to 4 days, and that on the first innings you are allowed 100 overs. Now 100 overs a side can make.
That's a day.
300, 350.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a side batting well can make 400. So 100 overs, 100 overs. It means by day 2, the game was moved.
Right.
The game was moved, and by curtailing the number of overs in the first innings, you have given a chance for a result situation. It doesn't apply to the second innings. The second innings is back to normal. But there are just too many boring draws, which probably really doesn't draw people to the game. You need to have a more result-oriented format.
Right.
And my own feeling is that there should be a number of overs limitation on the first innings. So the game is moving on in and it's not necessarily creating another white ball using red ball. It's a different game, but people can bat normally for 100 overs. That's a long time. I mean, many test teams are bowled out for less than 100 overs.
Right.
That's my thing. The other thing is, in case of injury, right now you have the concussion rule, right? But in case of injury, you had a recent game when Zimbabwe were playing England, and the Zimbabwe best fast bowler went down with a back injury, I think 40 minutes after the game started. Maybe the rules needs to be changed so you can, of course, the doctors have to verify that the man is. But why should your opening star bowler fake injury? There should be some sort of maybe adjustment there where a player could be replaced on the first day through injury, the case may be. And maybe there could be some feeling restrictions, to liven up the thing. But there is an ICC technical committee that deal with rule changes. I mean, in the football world, the next coming season, the goalkeepers can't just collect the ball and hold it, right? They've got to get rid of the ball in 6 seconds, So the football program is trying to speed up the game,
right,
and make it much more attractive. Now the goalkeeper can take 5-10 minutes before he decides to
release it,
to kick the ball upfield. That has certainly stopped. And there are a number of changes in football towards speeding up and making it more attractive.
Right.
The same thing applies. To cricket. The umpire's call is a very debatable thing, because you see some umpires call where the ball is just about grazing the stump, but The man has been given out bold, as the case may be, and the umpire's call really needs to be reviewed. But
we've also seen, of course, the issue of us not playing enough of the long form of the game right now, not enough exposure for the average St. Lucian or Trinidadian or Jamaican in 4-day cricket, first-class cricket. I mean, is that your read of it as well? I mean, obviously lots of challenges in terms of being able to achieve that, just from a practical perspective of people having to get time off. And I mean, how are we really going to, practically achieve more exposure to the long form of the game, you think?
By playing more of the long part of the game, by playing more red ball cricket. I think we have too many young men playing white ball cricket too early, and a lot of bad technical faults are in fact picked up and never cured. People playing across the line, no footwork, no balance at the crease and things like that. I think for example, you talked about money. I mean, the Indian betting organization sponsors T10 cricket all over the world. Mm-hmm. All over the world. We just had one played here, T10 cricket. But it doesn't help the longer format. I think that we need to have a reduction in that. We need to go back to maybe more 2-day cricket. And I don't believe that our young men or boys under 21 should be playing T20. Mm-hmm. I think in the ODI format, that's a long enough format where you can bat normally, where you can bat normally. But I think there is too much white ball cricket. Mm. But it's an easy sell. Sponsors are quite willing to support a T20, to support a T10, because it's probably going to have a fair amount of people watching. And these days, everything is being streamed because of the technology. So, the world is seeing these events, so it's good mileage for the quote-unquote sponsors. So it's not an easy time, I mean, but when I was growing up as a boy, 9 out of 10 boys wanted to play for the Windwards, wanted to play for Guyana, wanted to play for Barbados, wanted to play for the Leewards. Mm-hmm. That's changed now. I mean, there's so many options in life for young people. Right. That cricket at schools used to be, I'm told that, St. Mary's used to play in Division 1 here in St. Lucia. Right? Mm-hmm. And that was happening throughout the Caribbean. I remember Queen's College in Guyana played in Division 1. School cricket is not as strong as it should be. I mean, it was school cricket that produces the Laras and the Hoopers and the Holdings and that group. Mm. That needs to be a focus. And our girls need to start playing cricket at secondary school. Our girls do everything. They run track, they swim, right. They play tennis, they play volleyball, they play basketball. Football. Our mm-hmm. girls are not playing cricket in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Only Trinidad has got 6 clubs, especially for girls. Mm-hmm. But I would say girls need their own space. I don't think that it's good to have girls practicing with boys. They can certainly play against. Barbados have a situation where 1 or 2 of their national players play in the second division against the boys. Yes, you can mix it there, but I think Roland Butcher, the former Barbadian-born English batsman, was saying that girls need their own space. Girls need their own practice sessions by themselves so that they can get that kind of special concentration. As we look down in the future, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with our tour to India? It's going to be fairly testing. What sort of team will come in? What sort of a coaching staff we are going to have? I mean, some people are worried about our batting. The bowling seems to be in pretty good shape. Ravi Rampal is getting a lot of credit, but it must also be said that Seals and Joseph was bowling before Rampal joined. But the bowling looks in pretty good shape.
There's been a call. There's been a call for a return to having a specialized test coach. You think we may need to do that, having individual coaches for the different forms of the game?
Well, I didn't hear the interview, but I heard that on a discussion program, Miles Bascom said that the board is thinking of employing a batting specialist or worse to that effect. Now, whether that's going to be for the Tour of India, I do not know. Whether they are going to replace Rifa as the batting coach with maybe an international rated coach. But there was a hint. There was a hint that they a batting coach. I think also the fitness coach, who has been there for 2 decades, might be, as they say, shelf life. It's too long maybe for one person to be in a position for that long. You're saying the same things, you're doing the same things, you're not as modern as you should be. And you drop 13 catches in a 3-test series. You got to ask what's the standard of the work of the players regarding fielding. So there are decisions to be taken. There are decisions to be taken.
Well, thanks so very much for sharing with us your thoughts, and I think very much on point. And let's hope that some of that advice is in fact going to be taken up with great haste by the decision makers and authorities with Cricket West Indies. Thanks so very much. Of course, we'll be
If
speaking.
I can just add,
Yes,
one of the things that could definitely help Windward's cricket and Leeward's cricket, because of the internal travel that the Windwards and Leewards have to have running tournaments, whether a little more funding could be given to the Windwards board and to the Leewards board. If in fact we're getting a bigger slice of the ICC cake, which is something which has been talked about, and definitely it's felt that England, India, and Australia are getting the bulk of the money. The Windwards and the Leewards board needs a little bit of money so they can invest in the infrastructure, they can invest in their camps, they can invest in school cricket. I think school cricket really needs to have a focus.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I was a young commentator, watching Michael Holding bowling to Farouk Bacchus. And many situations where the school cricket standard was very, very high. But I think it's good that you raise the whole discussion on it. It is an important topic. I mean, a lot of people might not agree with what I've had to say, but I've tried to be as honest and as balanced.
Well, I think a lot of people will also agree with what you said.
There's a feeling also, before we close, that maybe the West Indies board is demanding much too much from Darren Sammy. It's a heavy load to carry. From 3 franchise. I know the ball is 5.5 ounces, but the games are different, you know. I think that Murray needs to be the workload, and Darren Sammy needs to be probably addressed. And the backroom staff is very important. You know, the backroom staff, the specialist coaches must do their job. The batting coaches must do their job. The fielding coaches must do their job. The fitness coaches, you know, it's not just the coach. The coach has got a number of people that must do their jobs.
I'm also hearing from you that in addition to the Cricket West Indies itself, that definitely the respective nations and their own sports programs need to step up. I'm certainly hearing that, I think, especially at the school level.
Yes, definitely. You know, what happens to the players when they come away from Test cricket? What programs are they following in their respective countries regarding the senior players, the under-23 players, the under-21? What programs are they following? There's so many things that we really need to fix, other than making sure that we have better pitches and things like that. But it's a work in progress. But it's not the best time for West Indies cricket. But the ladder can only be up, not down.
Well, that's good to know, I suppose, in that sense. But, of course, thanks very much for sharing with us, Dr. Joseph Reds Pereira. Great to hear your voice, as always. And have a good one. Now, of course, we're actually due, I think, for our weather report. So we're going to head across to take that in right now.
This has been The Daily Dish.
One tells for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tells for your balcony. Come down to Tells Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tells Plus, Tells Plus, Tells Plus. Big tells with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A plus, it all kind of tells. Come down to Tells Plus. We also black, gas, and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down, don't mind nobody. We got the best tells on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Joe Grizzly, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
Prepare yourself for the wildest, craziest, Valval blowout sale in Island Star's history. We're going absolutely wild with up to 60% off on ceramic and porcelain tiles. All Ruby Tools, Genesis tile strips, feeler, cleaners, and sealers. Select natural stone and travertine are 15% off with 12% off on PVC ceiling tiles. Get a whooping 50% off on all low stock. Our chipped-edge tiles starts at $1 on our luxury brand. Bathtubs, vanities, toilets, faucets, and bathroom accessories are priced to go. Hurry down to our showroom at Castries, Rodney Bay, and Viewfold, or call 450-452 or 453-TILE. Valval value like mad at Island Style, Thailand Bath.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
So of course, on the 1.1, it's now time for your weather forecast as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Thailand Bath. The forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing from the east in near 20 miles per hour or 31 kilometers per hour. The weather partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a few brief showers. And there is an advisory here which reads small craft operators and sea beavers are advised to exercise caution due to above normal seas. And the forecast for Los Antilles, fair skies occasionally becoming cloudy with a few showers. And the tropical weather outlook, the Atlantic high pressure system will generate, well, that should be the Atlantic high pressure system will maintain light to moderate easterly winds across the Eastern Caribbean region during the next few days. Shallow patches of low-level clouds moving with the wind flow will cause a few showers over the region during the forecast period. Also, a tropical wave located over the far eastern tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 15 miles per hour or 24 kilometers per hour. And this has been your weather forecast as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style talent back.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Prepare yourself for the wildest, craziest, Valval, blowout sale in Island Stars history. We're going absolutely wild with up to 60% off on ceramic and porcelain tiles. All Ruby tools, Genesis tile strips, feeler, cleaners, and sealers. Select natural stone and travertine are 15% off with 12% off on PVC ceiling tiles. Get a whopping 50% off on all low stock. Our chipped edge tiles starts at $1 on our luxury brand. Bathtubs, vanities, toilets, faucets, and bathroom accessories are priced to go. Hurry down to our showroom at Cash Trees, Rodney Bay, and View Falls, or call 450-452 or 453 Tile. Valval value like mad at Island Style Tile and Bath.
And welcome back to our program here at the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. Of course, the number to call in is 4523046, and we're going to try to go to the phone lines to take in a call at this time. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Lunchroom. And what's on your plate today?
George.
How are you doing?
And to all your people, all right?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Okay, well, I listened intently to the old sage. But, I beg to disagree, I don't know, boy, with some of the things Red's are saying, Red's recommending to change up the game all kind of ways for results. And I don't know if the Reds following the series, England versus the thing. 5 days up to the last innings in all three test matches, up to the wire, down to the wire. All three of them have results. Scores above 400, 500, 600, double centuries.
So caller, it sounds like you would add on another day.
No, I didn't say that. I said, but
I know. No, but I'm just saying.
He tried. That, I don't know. I don't know why he feel. If West Indies is not good, they're not playing good. In other words, you would feel you doctor the whole Test cricket to make weak teams look like they could stay in contention.
No, but I think the point was that in the past, there have been changes that have been made to Test cricket in the past.
I'm not saying no, but there are changes that are made.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of changes.
Wasn't Test cricket originally 6 days?
Yeah, not the VR, DRS, and all these kind of things. The seismic changes there, so that way, if a bowler could have a chance if he feel a batsman is out and the umpire don't give it, he could, and vice versa. If a batsman feel he's not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's a seismic change in the game, because when you think of how many people who have been out how many times,
right?
And they want to make big scores, and or not only that, because of the local umpires involved, from the time they made the changes that you can't have local umpires, you have to have foreign umpires, so that you eliminate the whole, national bias there and so on and so forth. There have been changes.
Right.
There have been changes that how you could replace somebody. If somebody gets hit on the head and cannot bat again or something, you could replace him with a batsman. And there have been changes, but to talk about 100 shorten the thing, 100 to what? Think, as is, they have teams that still scoring at 5 runs and over, and doing well. And the whole idea of like you were suggesting, they should give things more money. Like you expect the international body to provide more money to the West Indies to keep the players at home, So you cannot keep your players at home. It's like maybe.
Well, I'm not sure that he said that, but I think
What he said.
I think he was sort of suggesting that perhaps a lot more money is going into other countries. Other countries like Zimbabwe, Afghanistan, by the ICC in terms of sports development.
A lot of money is going to them.
That's what I thought he was suggesting, and so they're going into development. But in other words, not much is being given by the ICC to the West Indies. Probably.
So what you suggest in West Indies is thing, for targeted to remain underdeveloped. They give them less than what they're giving everybody else.
Well, I'm not sure the formula as to how specifically they go about
I don't know.
spreading, but yeah.
I don't see why you have to have depend on an international body to help your players, to help you keep your players there. And they're still going to get a better offer than what you're giving them all the time to go and play 2020. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to Clive Lloyd, you listen to a man that really know what they're talking about. Clive Lloyd said, there's no way he knows that success comes before work.
Mm-hmm.
It only happens in the dictionary. You understand that?
Right.
Eh?
Right.
Because
alphabetical.
Order,
right.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
S before W. So, what is the implications of that? You cannot get success. You have to, and our players obviously not putting the work. These players, and there's nothing that say 2020 and think it should be mutually exclusive. There are a number of players who have played the various formats successfully. Chris Gayle played 100 test matches. How many? With 14 centuries, average over 40. That is the last batsman that on the West Indies with an average over 40. Chris Gayle. Say what you want about him. I shame he did the blah. How many? About 27, 28 one-day centuries. That's 50 overs.
Mm-hmm.
How many centuries and how many runs in 2020? So you can do it, and he plays nearly everywhere. So you could still represent your country. David Warner does the same thing. David Warner plays all formats, and to suggest that Test cricket they have no currency. When you're playing like West Indies, you don't have no currency because who's going to come and see that? But if you're competitive and you have good players, players who are really rising to the occasion. Because look. You think? Let me tell you. You think Australia promotes the big bash, the 20 over competition? You feel they could promote that more than an Ashes series between them and England? Eh? This next season, what do you think people looking for? Australians looking more for? Big bash? With all the excitement and the big hitting and the hoorays and the dancing around and the entertainment? But no, with West Indies, we don't really get Test cricket.
They might be. I don't know, Paul. I think they also.
You go here. You go see the biggest party in cricket in Tong come in August,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see the stands and you see the excitement and you see all the people, the flimsies coming around and trying to promote that and in the name of revenues and tourism, and this shallow fella, he's so shallow, he buy into that. That's what he seems to be talking about now. Hotels, well occupied and all this kind of thing.
Mm.
What happened to us? What happened to our culture of resilience, our culture of patience, of confidence, that served us, that had the whole world in awe for 2 decades, and you're surprised when the level of crime going up and violence. But, we had a lower standard of living. We had a lower standard of living, yet still crime wasn't so rampant because we learned how to be tolerant and patient and solve problems. You don't get that from T20. T20 is and when your talented people abandon, they don't see, well, let me see how I could think. It's one or the other. So the best talent, Russell, Bravo, Pollard, the bowler, what's his name? Anyway. All these people, Akil Hussein, all these people with so much promise and ability, they put 2020 before, and they want to go to every league, and, in the name.
But that said, caller, you have to admit that as sport goes, the only other sport that goes on perhaps as long as cricket, a test match, is perhaps golf, right? When we compare the average sports out there, whether it's football, basketball, I mean, the T20 form of the game is effectively more trying to come into line with those types of sports and how long those sports last. I mean, so
the T20 is coming to thing with that.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of the length of time that the sport is played for. So I think in the case of the test match, it is certainly a very special.
Why is the length of time is not a problem because these countries on top of the world, they make sure they remain competitive in test cricket. Who remain competitive in test cricket don't have a problem with the length of the test.
No, certainly, but let's face it, caller.
I don't know.
As of now, I mean, in the days of having let's say a 4-5 test series, we're not going to see a 4-5 test series in the Caribbean. I don't think for a while. I mean,
okay, all right.
As of now, you probably be looking at maybe India. The places that would be having those would be India, Australia, England, right?
But Eddie,
now the demographics there make it feasible and attractive because you still have sufficient. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you say so, but I mean, let's deal with the.
No. You don't know what you're talking about. You just throwing out statistics there, because if West Indies had beaten, which they were strongly in a position, taken their catches. He told you how many 14 catches in
right.
this match. If they had taken the catches, the way the bowlers bowled, we had beaten Australia. Australia is number 1, 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And we have a series coming up, I think, in New Zealand. We go New Zealand. We beat them. We really give them another beating. And we do that, say, for 2 years straight. You don't feel like they reconsider our status in cricket, and we start going up the ladder, and we reach rankings number 3, number 14. These things are a result of your rankings, my brother.
Yeah, but then also what I'm saying, though, is that there's that aspect of it in terms of the performance. But as it is in terms of the population and being able to say you're going to be, relatively reasonably filling up a cricket ground, right?
It's not about population, but it's all about broadcast rights,
Well, you have that. I'm not debating the broadcast rights too.
Look, whoever buy the rights for that test that just passed it, looking at things, the other 2 finish in under 3 days. This one barely lasts 2 days and
3 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other day is now. The people pay for that time already, and what happened? That is where I'm telling you. That's where you have to step up. If you're playing competitive and you're playing good cricket, that encourage people to buy out, and you have dancing and singing in test environment the same way you have it in T20, because it used to happen. It used to happen. It can happen again, but then you have to perform. And you talk about, from the outset, and I know a lot of people, because people like to say that when you call a spade, you fight down and all that kind of thing. But that's okay. Darren Sammy should never have been coach of the team, of the test team. I don't feel Darren Sammy ready for that. I think put it down to workload, But if Darren Sammy he took the job, it was offered to him. I don't know if he applied or what, but he took the job, and he feel he could have been equal to it. All right, okay, we didn't say anything. He said, let me see what he's doing. But now, you're starting to see that decision was a poor decision, shallow decision by Shallow and them.
All right, caller.
Yeah, because let me tell you, if Darren Sammy, you see, we do things like, we're so different, in the way that we do things. And maybe it's good to be different, but not outlandish. I don't know of any coach, a national coach, and you're still coaching a franchise. Yeah, Darren Sam is the coach of the West Indies in all three formats. And come the CPL, he's going to be coaching the St. Lucia side. With the same fellas, refer on them in his corner. So how perception is everything. How is he not going to be biased towards that team as a national coach? I don't see that happening anywhere. I look around and I make sure I do my research. A coach that is coaching a national team, coaching a franchise in that same country. I don't know, and we do it, and nobody. That's normal. You talk about it, and they say what? Well, but I no big thing in that. It could happen. It never happened, but it could happen. And again, as we won last year, it's good for us. But something, I have to give something out to pay, and you cannot have Darren Sammy coaching all three formats, in international cricket, and also coaching a thing. That man is only Superman. That man is super spider Batman.
All right, caller. Thanks very much for those
right,
points,
okay,
and enjoy the rest of the day. Very valuable points.
Red is my friend, but I don't know.
I'm sure. I know. But we all have our perspectives, no doubt.
His ideas out of sync.
Well, your opinion, caller. Your opinion. But thanks very much. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, of course. And we're way over time already, unfortunately, for the day. So we're going to have to end it here. But certainly lots of interesting points of view on the matter of where we're at with respect to West Indies cricket. And, of course, we do hope that you have a very blessed and pleasant day. Take care.
missing.